The New Jersey Public's Meeting Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Belvidere Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted with the Star Ledger and the Express Times, and submitted to the town clerk of the town of Belvidere on January 15, 2025. The meeting will be live streamed at www.belvideresd.org.
Before we stand for flag salute, if we, at the end of the flag salute, can stay standing for a moment of silence for Dawn Schnelzer, our colleague that passed away last week. And everybody could take a moment and just think of their favorite memory of Dawn, because I think that's how she would want it. And then we'll go on with the rest of the agenda.
Okay. Flag salute, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone.
The mission of the Belvidere School District is to celebrate our past and empower our future while focusing on the four cornerstones of our district: tradition, excellence, academics, and community. We strive to build confidence and promote collaboration. We encourage an equal partnership with our students and staff, as well as its community members. We empower everyone to develop the best version of themselves. The Belvidere School District is committed to shaping students into global citizens who take initiative for their success and contribute to the continued excellence of the district. Our students are leaders in the decision-making process of their education and will be prepared to excel in the 21st century society. Roll call, please.
Mr. Blum? Mrs. Serbone?
Here.
Dr. Zuppeth? Here. Mrs. Duckworth?
Here.
Mr. Scott?
Here.
Ms. Steffen?
Here.
Ms. Walton?
Here.
Mrs. Wenner?
Here.
Mr. Ciccarelli? Mrs. Gardella?
Here.
Mrs. Robotham?
Here.
We are going to start tonight with our sixth grade students. Mr. Reed is here. Want to talk a little bit about what we have tonight, Mr. Reed?
Okay, thank you. Now, they've been working with STEM, the robots this year in STEM, learning coding, and they wanted to demonstrate them and show you how they work. And then, I got the idea, well, why don't we have the band play? And we decided to do a patriotic theme, so they're going to play the Star Spangled Banner, and that's pretty much it. Okay, please rise if you're able to, and the band will play the Star Spangled Banner.
Great job by our students. That was excellent. Thank you, Mr. Reed, for coming in. You guys make us proud. Very patriotic way to start our meeting. Next up on our list for tonight is we are going to honor our Educators of the Year for Belvidere High School and Belvidere Elementary School. Unfortunately, only 2 could be with us tonight due to some scheduling conflicts, but we're going to honor all 4 while we're here. So we're going to start out with Miss Lori Endyke. Come on up, Miss Endyke. Okay. Miss Endyke is a dedicated preschool teacher at Belvidere Elementary School. She inspires young minds with her creativity, patience, and passion for early childhood education. She creates a nurturing environment where every child feels valued and supported, laying a strong foundation for lifelong learning. Through play-based and hands-on activities, she fosters curiosity, exploration, and a love for learning. Ms. Endyke goes above and beyond by partnering with families, ensuring they feel involved and supported in their child's educational journey. Her dedication is evident in the confidence, skills, and enthusiasm her students develop under her care. As a valued member of the Belvidere Elementary School, Ms. Endyke contributes to the school community by mentoring colleagues and sharing innovative teaching practices. She is a shining example of excellence in education and is truly deserving of the recognition as Teacher of the Year. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thanks so much. Okay. Also here tonight is Mr. Eric Cook. Mr. Cook's dedication and organizational skills make him an exemplary recipient of the Service Professional of the Year Award. As a technology assistant, he goes above and beyond to support staff with tools and techniques that enhance productivity and collaboration. Known for his well-organized approach to attention to detail, Mr. Cook ensures that technical challenges are resolved efficiently and effectively. His passion for technology is matched by his commitment to fostering a supportive environment where staff feel confident and capable in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. Through his innovative solutions and personalized guidance, he consistently demonstrates patience, expertise, and a genuine desire to see others succeed. Mr. Cook's unwavering dedication makes him an invaluable resource and a true leader within the school community. Mr. Eric Cook. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Now we have two staff members who could not be with us tonight, but we need to recognize them nonetheless for their dedication to the Belvidere School District. First is Miss Mary Cassidy. Mrs. Cassidy, Belvidere's High School Teacher of the Year, is a dedicated special education teacher whose passion, empathy, and commitment transform lives daily. With unwavering patience and innovative teaching methods, she creates a supportive environment where every student feels valued and capable of achieving success. Her ability to adapt to diverse learning needs inspires confidence and fosters growth in her students. Beyond academics, Mrs. Cassidy serves as an advocate, encouraging inclusivity and kindness within the school community. Her impact extends beyond the classroom as she continually collaborates with families and colleagues to ensure the best outcome for her students. Belvidere High School is fortunate to have such an exceptional educator shaping the future of its students. Mary Cassidy. And finally, also can be with us tonight is Mrs. Dawn Andrews. Mrs. Andrews has been named the Service Professional of the Year at Belvidere Elementary School, and it's a well-deserved honor. As a dedicated paraprofessional, she consistently goes above and beyond to support both students and staff. Her patience, kindness, and unwavering commitment to fostering a positive learning environment make her an invaluable member of the school community. Mrs. Andrews excels in providing individualized support to students, helping them achieve their goals and grow academically and socially. Her collaborative spirit and ability to adapt to meet the needs of every child reflect her passion for education and care for others. Whether assisting in classrooms, offering encouragement, or building meaningful connections, Mrs. Andrews embodies the qualities of an exceptional service professional. Her contributions have a lasting impact on the students and staff at Belvidere Elementary, and this recognition highlights her dedication and heart. Congratulations, Ms. Andrews. So, can we just have another round of applause for our 4 outstanding educators this year? And on behalf of the board, I thank you for your contributions to the district and all you do every day to make our kids feel wanted and learn great things. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we are on to our audit presentation.
Move this up a little bit. That good? Okay. I put a presentation in front of all of you. If you don't have one, Shelley has some extras. My name's Anthony Ardito. I'm the auditor for the school district, partner with Ardito and Company. And I'll go over this presentation. It's very high-level finance, kind of give you an idea where the school is sitting as of last school year, fiscal 24, June 30th, 2024. And as you have any questions, just hop on in and raise your hand. I'll take questions as you go. This first slide here is a pie chart of your governmental fund expenditures. Now, your governmental fund is not only what you base your budget around, your tax levy, all your expenditures. It's also your special revenue fund, which is all of your grants, all your title spending, IDEA, all those COVID grants are spent through special revenue fund. And if you had a debt service fund, that would be in there, and capital projects fund would be in there also. So if we take a look at this off to the left, we see instruction, $5.2 million of your total government pie. That's teachers' salaries and direct classroom supplies. Doesn't include benefits. If we go up clockwise, we see a little bit of tuition for private schools. Benefits, the next piece of pie there, almost $2.2 million. 1.7 million of that is health insurance. The rest is Social Security match, employer taxes, the PERS payment that you make for your PERS employees for their pension, unemployment, and any kind of other employee benefits, tuition reimbursements, things of that nature.
How does that differ on behalf?
On behalf benefits, which is catty corner to that, down at about 4 or 5 o'clock. On behalf is those benefits that the state of New Jersey pays for your district, for the teacher's pension and for the teacher's post-retirement health plan. They pay that money. It's not in your budget, but in governmental accounting, we have to show it both as an expenditure here and as a revenue on the revenue side. So both the same exact dollar amounts. They wash each other out. They don't affect your fund balance at all. Support at the very top. That's a lot of different things that support your instructional area, health services, related services, extra services, improvement of instruction, library, media. All of that is in the support function. Next to that, at 1 o'clock, general and admin, 1.4 million, a little bit more than 1.4. That's not only the Board of Ed office, it's also principals, all the secretarial staff, all of your professionals, your legal, your accounting, your IT, all your IT costs are all in that general and admin slice of pie there. You're doing a great job of containing that. The average percentage for a school your size in the state of New Jersey is about 8.1%. So you do a good job of containing those admin costs through shared services and whatever else in order to get them manageable. Next to that is plant maintenance, a little over $1 million, everything to run all your buildings, utilities, custodial, anything of that nature. Transportation, you don't have much transportation in this district, that's all your busing, the busing that you do have with contracted services. On behalf benefits, we went over that a few minutes ago. And down at the very bottom, special revenue, a little bit over $2 million. That's all your title program spending, all your IDEA, which is mostly special education. ARP was the big spender last year, ARP, American Rescue Plan. The ESSER 3 and the 3 troughs of federal government stimulus. Now that's over with September 30th, 2024. No more ARP, no more COVID stuff anymore. I love it as an auditor. You guys probably don't, because you've been spending that money over the last 3-4 years. That also includes your preschool education aid that you get from the state, as well as those federal grants. And it includes student activity expenditures, which were $212,000 last year. Preschool education was $569,000. So your federal spending is around $1.2 million last year. A little bit of charter school, very little bit of capital outlay, but that's your total expenditure picture for fiscal '24. We take a look at the next slide here. Now these are expended. Oh, go ahead.
Back to the prior chart. Where do you think we have excess?
I don't think you have excesses, although I'm not intimate with your budget process as you go through. But at the end here, we'll talk about your surplus and where it sits. You could quickly tell you have excesses if you're generating a lot of excess surplus, and I'll go into that a little bit. This chart here is expenditures also. But we take out of here those on-behalf benefits we talked about because those are fake. They don't affect your budget. We take out capital projects because they could drastically differ from year to year. And so these are your true operating costs. So we start in 2020 at $11.8 million. And that blue line there with the blue squares is your 2020 expenditures adjusted for inflation. So you can see that ramp up in 2022 was like 7.7% inflation, and then the next year was 4.5. This year they said it was 2.9. That'll be revised at some point down the road also. But there's mainly a 20% increase in 2020 dollars to 2024 dollars in that blue line. The black line is your actual expenditure run rate. So you can see you're well below the inflation level. In fact, the last 2 years, your expenditures increased mainly because of that COVID spending. And you're getting more and more preschool education money to spend also. But you're still, even at $13 million and change in 2024, you're only at a 2.5% compounded annual inflation rate from 2020. So you're doing a great job in this inflationary environment that we're all in and keeping the school budget low. That red line is your 2020 costs per pupil adjusted for inflation and then multiplied by the number of pupils. So you can see the decrease from 23 to 24. That's because you went from 604 students down to 577. That's just a kind of like another indicator to look at your per pupil cost. Yeah, I mean, in this inflationary period, it's been about a 20% increase from 2020 dollars to now. You're at 20%. You're at 2.5% compounded annual growth rate. So that's kind of unheard of. So you're doing an excellent job in trying to keep that budget in line. Next page, page 3, are all of your revenues for the last 5 years. So it's kind of a busy chart there. But the biggest revenue is your tuition that you charge to your member school districts, Harmony, White, and Hope. In 2024, that was $4.2 million, a little bit over 4.2. State aid is closely behind that, 3.1. But of course, the tax levy overtakes state aid at 4.1 million. And you can see your state aid, which is that black line kind of in the middle, going 3.3 in 2020 to 3.1 million. Now, as you know, state aid has constantly been cut. I think this past year was the last year of the program, and they just don't like rural schools. The state of New Jersey does not like Warren County, I don't think, or Hunterdon County, or Sussex County, because your state aid's going down. Now that state aid's going down, but your preschool education aid is also in there, so that keeps going up. So you're losing out on the other side, your equalization aid, your transportation, all those different aids that you used to get or have dwindled, even with all that inflation we talked about. Down at the very bottom, we have federal revenue again, going from 513 last year to $1,272,000, and most of that was purchase orders that were carried over from that SBB grants that you got, SBB VEER for the efficiency and the project you did on Oxford Street, 807, and what was the other one? 809 Oxford Street. There's two big projects. It appears like that was money coming from the state, but it wasn't. It's actually a federal grant coming in. At the very bottom, we have local revenue. Hardly anything. Most of that is, you're starting to earn interest on your bank accounts now. You're starting to generate some revenue there. Next page is your excess fund balance. Excess fund balance is you're only allowed to have unreserved fund balance equal to 2% of your expenditures or $250,000, whichever is less. So that unreserved portion is basically what unreserved means. It's not earmarked for anything. It's free and clear, can be used in your next year's budget. It's different than other reserves that you have, fund balance components, which we'll get into on the next slide, like capital reserve and maintenance reserve. But your maximum reserve fund balance is in the yellow there for each year. And in 21 and 22, the state increased the maximum to 4% because of COVID. But now in 23 and 24, it's back down to 2%. So your maximum amount in 2024 that you could keep unreserved was $265,000 and change. You came in almost at that, and you could see you did that the year before. You're keeping close to the maximum allowed while also being able to utilize about $300,000 of reserve surplus for your following year's budget. You were always kicking in $300,000, and you always have this $265,000 or whatever the excess or whatever the maximum is also in your back pocket. So if we look at the next page, these are all of your fund balance components. So total fund balance is $1,771,000. Down below there at about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock is unreserved fund balance that we just went over. That's the 2% number. You're allowed $264,000. You got that. Right above that is maintenance reserve, $652,000. That you utilize as a revenue source for your budget every year. But you also put back into it, fund it again every year. If you remember in June, you do a resolution that says if there's any excess revenues or any unspent appropriations, we could plow that money back into our maintenance reserve or our capital reserve. Basically those two items there. So you do that. Maintenance reserve last year in fiscal 24, you used $225,000 of it to fund your budget. But then you added back at the end of June $275,000. So you're a net pickup of $50,000 there this year. Encumbrances at the top, it's a fancy word for governmental purchase orders that are just open at the end of June. Services haven't been rendered, goods haven't been shipped or received, but you need to keep that money open and reserved for come July and September when those orders start to get filled. Next to that is reserved for use in the fiscal 25 budget. So again, this is the end of fiscal 24, but you have to have the $300,000 set aside and ready to start being used July 1st of 2024, which is fiscal 25. So that's always reserved, $300,000. And down below, capital reserve, you have $468,000. You don't really touch that much over the last few years, but that's another reserve that's available for your capital needs. Any questions? I have to say that the district is in very good financial condition. We completed the audit. We usually do it over the late summer. And the audit's been issued for months now, but I got sick last month, so now I'm finally here. The audit went very well, and Shelley does an excellent job in getting everything ready for us and having everything prepared. She keeps immaculate set of books, I do have to say. And there are no audit recommendations or administrative findings this year, so congratulations. Anything else for me? Great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too, thanks. All right, that brings us to committee reports. We had curriculum, finance, and our admin activities.
See the light. All right, we can start with curriculum. So we have an update on Renaissance. So they did their second assessment, and the K through 8 participation did go up. The data wall is providing data showing which kids have participated, and they have been extending the timeline a bit this session so that they could get a higher participation. The third assessments for ELA and math are going to be held in the classroom to hope to get a higher, full 100% participation this time around. The climate survey was sent out, and the response rate was pretty high, but the survey is still open, so we're hoping to get a higher percentage. Ms. McKinney is sending out reminders. We will be sending out a second survey towards the end of the year. We're going to reword some of the questioning based on some feedback we got from parents and students on the first, and then see if there's been any improvement since this first survey. The scheduling for the high school and the sending district 8th graders will be beginning, if it has not already. I think the first one was 21st. They went, Dr. McKinney went to the sending districts on the 21st, and then the end of March and beginning of April, they'll start to begin the scheduling for grades 6 through 12. After-school activities have started for 4 through 8 grades. The STEM class here, so let me update on that. And the teachers did have a PD day where they did some additional Renaissance training, especially for the middle school teachers, which they had requested. That went really, really well. And Mr. Krupa did an AI presentation, and Ms. McHugh did a presentation on classroom PhD. And so overall, I think they also had a lot of fun with some team activities. We're still following up and doing some work around the tech audit, and yeah, I think that is pretty much anything. Does anybody have any questions?
I just wanted to note that I did send an email to the policy committee just about questions around the guidance policy, our guidance services, and then just also some questions about our testing scores, which I think is rolled into our district CSA goals, which we'll have an update about soon, but just wondering where we're at. I think particularly around, I think, English and science. So I know you guys have that email and you'll loop back.
I responded, and I'll make sure.
Thank you.
I just had a quick question on the policy too. Are we talking policy? Is that on there?
This is from the notes. Yeah, the policy second reading is part of the
Okay,
agenda.
then I'll wait on that. But then I did have a quick question on the survey. So I did take the survey, but I found as a parent, it was a little difficult to answer quite a few questions only because we're not in the school, every day. So I didn't know who developed that, but, I'll look forward to the updates and the additions.
We took that from the state of New Jersey. Keep in mind that survey was specific for our chronic absenteeism and the reporting that we have to do back to the state. So the state recommended to any school district that's tagged as chronically absent to use that survey. Now with the feedback we've gotten, now we know to tailor it a little bit differently
Okay.
the next time through.
Okay, thank you.
Just to tag along to that, do we know if we'll get a summary of the survey results?
We will. We just kept it open a little bit longer to hopefully get some more responses.
I know the email that came with that too did say about parents talk to your children about their feedback on it
Right.
too, to kind of help, because that, that is, what do you see, but the inside we don't see every day, so.
Yeah, and so far, we do have, I mean, it's not closed yet, but with the, have the numbers. We did get a good feedback. So the middle and high school parents was 58 surveys returned. We had 146 students return it and 48 parents K through 5.
Okay.
Any other questions on that? No. All right, then on to committee reports for finance and operation committee.
Okay. So for finance and operations, the playground grant we submitted to the Department of Community Affairs on January 31st. And we're hoping to see an approval for that grant. We are requesting just the majority of those requested funds to be put towards the playground with some just additional upgrades. And then we'll hear about that, I think, sometime in the spring, pending if we meet that eligibility criteria. And then we applied for our tuition meeting. There was a tuition meeting with leaders across the districts of White, Hope, Harmony, Belvidere, and we settled on a $19,600 per student tuition adjustment. And then we're still waiting for a final analysis within the budget for sports, costs, and the child study team, and additional services that are provided to the school. Hope and White are going to work together on developing their own child study team. And then Belvidere and Harmony are going to partner together to continue to share services for the child study team. And then we're very close with JCP&L for the grant for the boiler updates and the lighting. So we're going to work to pull from capital reserve to supplement for some of those costs because there's virtually, I think, very little to no interest, and it's really a giant steal for the district from a cost perspective. And then we continue to work with administration to balance the budget. And there's various phases of balancing, and we're probably like on the 5th out of 10 phases. So it's a work in progress, but Shelley's got it.
Any questions on any of that? All right, and administration, student activity, community relations.
Okay, so we had a meeting, and Mr. Carabinas is working with St. Luke's to enhance the partnership that we have to include some additional services, specifically focusing on mental health, which I'm super excited about. The academic coaching, he gave us an update on, which is a pretty successful program, which has been utilized with quite a few of the students throughout the winter sports programs that are finding success with their coaches and getting back on track as far as grades and things of that nature without really having any penalization, without having to continue in their sports. Update on some of the on the winter sports, the boys soccer, this is fall, sorry. Boys fall for next year. We're looking toward some kind of refocusing on the program and taking a look into some different coaching styles, things like that. We're going to do a co-op with Warren Hills for a girls tennis team, which is pretty cool. Still looking for an assistant coach, although I saw something on the agenda here for track and spring, so that looks like that's taken care of. Super excited for the girls cheerleading team, which I guess did really well and won in their division down in Florida. And of course, everybody heard the sirens yesterday is for the bowling. So when we met, the bowling team hadn't won their state. So big congratulations out to them. Also, let's see, the wrestling's still going on, I believe. Boys basketball completed their season. And we're taking a look into the spring sports. We're also getting the field ready. We hired a company that's going to come out and do some aerating and getting the fields up and running so they're ready for the spring sports. The student activities is the BHS Spring Musical will be on 3/7. And volleyball tournament, this is going to be the class of 28, so it's going to be including, I think with the freshman team, I have to double check on that. The student talent show is going to be for the sixth graders. That's from 12:45 to 2:20 on 4/11. And we're going to talk too about maybe doing a talent show in the high school. Also, I think Belvidere used to do one, and we might try to bring that back. Travel club trip to Greece, 4/18 to 4/26. And the concert on 5/1 is also going to be an all-star band at Warren Hills. And that was pretty much it. We talked about a little bit more for the community relations, and we're going to try to get a policy enforced and start talking about a little more meat behind that policy as well.
Any questions on that?
Girls basketball, I'm assuming
Just
just
gonna say that.
maybe clinched the first round of their states.
Yeah,
in our
sorry.
gym.
Yes, at the time they were
Close, almost.
Yeah, when we met, they were in the
Hopefully.
6th seed, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still, yeah.
Yeah, but then their second round would be Saturday.
And so I do have a question about the field. So for the field, for the spring, will we planning or thinking about doing something for the fall sport fields as well?
I will inquire. We've only talked about the spring so far,
Okay.
but yeah, I'll definitely check on
Now might be the time to.
that. Mm-hmm.
So maybe just a reminder on those porta-johns out there for those spring sports and the schedule on that and what company we're going to continue with. Thanks.
Any other questions on any of that?
Oh, real quick, I did want to mention, we are starting to maybe get feelers out. Don't know where this is going to go, but we did talk about press box, which I know has always been a hot topic for the football team. So it's still in everybody's minds.
Any other questions on that? Okay, so everybody should have a list of the next few committee meetings that we might have to change a little bit because of some of the county meetings and things that are going on getting towards the springtime. So we will work on that as we go, as soon as everybody gets updated, and we'll try and figure that all out best we can. If there's anything for any of the committees that you guys want discussed in a committee that you're not on, just send an email with those questions or those concerns to Mr. Kruba, and he'll make sure that they get on the agendas. And if it's something that comes up and the meeting's coming up this week, just, again, let him know, and we can put that out there so that we get it talked about before our next meeting in case we need to deal with something. All right. And we are going to move up our student representative report, and we're going to let Andy get that done.
Thank you. Okay. The Belvidere Drama Club will present Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamboat on Friday, March 7th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, March 8th at 1 and 7 p.m. Tickets are available on the school's website, and everyone is encouraged to attend. Additionally, 3 seniors participated in an all-senior concert at Phillipsburg High School alongside other schools. The FFA celebrated National FFA Week last week. On Tuesday, we wore orange in honor of Mrs. Snesler. Wednesday was Barnyard Day. Members brought animals to show to students and teach them. It was kids from K to senior year. Last Friday was Bring Your Tractor to School Day. The week was overall a success, and everyone had a lot of fun. On Friday, the Leos Club and NHS are going to the Mira V. Additionally, Mira V is having a scone sale on March 12th. All proceeds will be going to Project Graduation. The National Honor Society is also having a Miller Keystone Blood Drive on March 5th. If you are interested in donating blood or purchasing scones, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Quick question, where is the blood drive? It's being held here?
Yep, and there's QR codes around the school if you need one. Just
Thank you.
no. Thank you.
Okay, so we are on to our interview of our board candidate, Colleen White.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
You want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I obtained my bachelor's degree in history pre-law from Caldwell College. I went on to get my substance awareness certification from Jersey City State. I then went on to get my master's in counseling with a concentration in substance abuse from Kean University. After graduating from Kean, I went back and did postgraduate work where I obtained my school counselor certification and my director of school counseling certification. I've worked in education for over 25 years. I worked in a traditional school district. I've worked in a public school run by a private company. And I'm currently working in an out-of-district school for special education students run by a healthcare facility. So I have a varied experience in education and have spent many years in education. I moved to Belvidere in 2017. At the time, I was working in the public school run by a private corporation. I was the only counselor in a school for 200 students. So at the time, I had the entire caseload. I did testing, curriculum. I did HIB, student assistance, 504, scheduling, college applications. I also took on the student council in the National Honor Society. So when I was first in Belvidere, I didn't have the free time to devote to any outside agency because I was bringing work home with me. In 2023, when I moved to my current position, I found that I had much more time on my hands and I wanted to get involved in my community and make that connection. And I figured the best way to do it was in education. So the seat on the Board of Education would allow me to give back to my community in a field I'm very familiar with.
Wonderful. Any questions?
Question I ask every board candidate, do you have any immediate family members that are part of the NJEA?
No. I have nobody in the school district. I'm not related to anybody who lives in Belvidere.
Anybody have any other questions? Do you have any one particular interest in the board specifically, like that you'd be interested, like finance, policies?
Policies, because I've had work writing policies. I'm currently writing policies because I work for a healthcare agency. I work for a school at a healthcare. It's that gray line of what's healthcare versus what's education. So it's getting familiar with the DOE policies and procedures and making sure that they're up to date and beneficial to the students.
Great. Anybody else have any other questions? No? Okay. Okay, well, thank you very much. And we will discuss this and then we'll get back to you this evening.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay. Okay.
I think we won.
I hope that was us.
All right. So I have a board statement. You want me to read this? Read it after? Okay. So we're going to look for a motion to go into executive session for personnel and board candidate discussion.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions? Okay, we're going to, any discussion held by the board which need not remain confidential will be made public as soon as practicable. Minutes of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. The board will reconvene in public session at the conclusion of the closed session in approximately half hour? Half hour? Okay. We staying here? Okay. We are going to stay here. If you guys can all please step out. Thank you.
Action.
Okay. Going to reopen the meeting with, I need a motion to appoint Colleen White to the Board of Education.
Motion.
Second.
All in, we're going to do roll call, Shelley, please.
Yes.
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 Welcome to the Board of Education, Colleen.
Allowed?
I, Colleen White, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and this state under the authority of the people, so help me God. I, Colleen White, do solemnly swear that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education, and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 1941, nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A 12-1, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office according to the best of my ability, so help me God. Welcome.
Okay. Before we do public participation, I have a statement from the board to read. We would like to address recent concerns regarding a district employee. Some of you may have learned of the arrest of one of our teacher's aides. We want to assure our parents, students, staff, and the entire school community that the safety and security of our students is the Board of Education's highest priority. The employee was promptly placed on leave and prohibited from entering school premises or having contact with students or staff. An active criminal investigation is ongoing, and we are cooperating fully with law enforcement. We trust the judicial process will address this matter appropriately and promptly. In the meantime, the Board of Education is taking additional action to address the situation. Since this is a pending personnel and student matter, we are unable to provide any further information at this time. Now, I'd like to open public participation. It's our first one. It's on any agenda items for this evening. Yeah, it is on here. You're an agenda item, yes.
I didn't realize it was an agenda item. My name is Heather Weidlich. I'm the grant chair for the Belvidere Education Foundation. I just wanted to let everyone know that for this current school year, we granted 4 teacher wish list grants. We did STEM bins for first grade. We did a photography expo with the multiple disabilities class. We provided the robots for the elementary school, and in just 2 weeks' time, the middle schoolers will be doing a pie day. So those were the grants that we had for this current school year. I've just sent all of the information to administration for grants for next school year. We'll be granting grants of $500. Obviously, the robots grant was much more than that. So if there's a grant request like that, that would cover a wide range of students, that one's covering the entire elementary school, we would be okay with that. My husband, Jeff Weidlich, is also here. He is the president of the Education Foundation. He'd just like to address a few issues. We have lots of parents here tonight, and I know there's parents watching. We need your help. We know that you all have concerns. It's why you come to school board meetings. It's why you voice your opinions online. I am on those Facebook groups and seeing what you're posting. This is a way you can effectively change things for your students here in these two buildings. Giving teachers what they need to make your children's education better is helping the situation. So taking an active role in that is super important. The new grants open March 1st, by April.
So as Heather said, we started the Education Foundation. There was a pretty good turnout for our first meeting when it was organized. Since then, participation has been sparse, to say the least. I mean, we've had some help with some of the small fundraisers we've done, like roadside cleanups. I mean, Mr. Carabinas has come out a couple times and helped us. Some of the other staff has. But really, we're having meetings and there's 4 people. We don't even have all of our board seats filled. So, and we've come to back to school nights. As once again, Mr. Carabinas has put it out there to the elementary school, and we're really not getting any traction. So unless we start to get people that want to be involved and help out so that we can try and increase our fundraising, do something large once a year where we can have a decent amount of money. Unfortunately, this could be possibly the last year for these grants. So really, as Heather said, we're doing the grants this year. We have money to fund multiple grants if we get them. But after that, it's highly possible that unless we get community or parent involvement to help out, that the Education Foundation will at least go dormant for a while, if not full. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sarah Forte. I am here tonight to address a few concerns regarding my nonverbal autistic children. What nonverbal means is when they come home, they cannot tell me how their day has gone, for they cannot speak not even one word. So, if they had a bad day, I don't know. If somebody abused them, I don't know. If somebody neglected, I don't know. I rely solely on the school to protect my children. Now, this aide that was fired has been my stepson's caregiver in this school for the past 4 years. It has been brought to my attention that there has been many incidences that were reported from this teacher or this aide that has done many things, and it was not reported, or it was reported and nothing was done prior to this, all the way back in September. Now, getting back to this. My first concern is the safety of my children getting to and from school safely and for the pickup and drop-off to be safe. Unfortunately, this has been a problem for a while and was reported to the school daily without any resolution until I received a ticket from the town cop for parking close to the school to access my children because the provided handicapped parking spaces were being blocked by parents picking up their children. Because these parents were illegally blocking handicapped spaces, this caused myself and other parents with children with disabilities to park in inconvenient spaces to access our children, which is unfair. How would you like to have a child with a disability and not be able to access the school properly to pick them up in a safe manner? Secondly, is the safety of our children and whom watches over them. It has been brought to my attention that my disabled children have not been taken care of properly while in the school's care. For example, verbal abuse, physical abuse, and neglect, not being able to communicate with their AC devices. Also, my daughter's AC device, the communication talker, it was taken without this device. She cannot communicate her wants or needs, which results in exacerbated negative behaviors. Additionally, moving my son from a higher educational program with children his own age that he had worked extremely well and exceeded with during the summer program to a lower grade to work with the aide, Mr. C, because he does a better job with Tristan and can handle him better and keeps him calmer, is what we were told. Not for any other reasons, but to just help the aide just do what he was doing. And initially, imagine these are your children whom you cannot tell you anything on how their day went, or if they were mistreated or who hurt them. How would you feel being their parent and not knowing what is happening or going on with your child? And to find out this, not even from the school, but to read it through the paper days later, that should have not have happened. Us parents had a right to know if there is any investigation. If an investigation is put on our children, we should know the second that that investigation has started and what the outcome is. There has been multiple investigations on my children, against my children, that we were very unaware of. And it has been brought to our attention now, and I don't think that that is correct, and it should be addressed, that there should not be secrets between the staff members or the parents just to protect staff member. That is uncalled for. Also, I am requesting any and all documented incidents, videos against Tristan, because Tristan was with Phil for 4 years, and I want to know if he has had any harm through the videos. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Vicki Davenport again. So this also goes with it. I had sent you an email of some screenshots about another aide. As far as I'm concerned, that goes against HIPAA. I sign a piece of paper for you guys every year that says you guys can have Medicaid come in for my kids to get their services. So as far as I'm concerned, what goes on with my kids should be protected under HIPAA. Now there was a beautiful parent of an aide here who had completely mentioned things that should not have ever been mentioned about my child, especially in public. If you have a problem with my child, you come to me. You go to my husband. You do not, under any circumstances, publicly post it on Facebook for the entire town to see. I'm sorry to tell you, but that is way inappropriate. And then the next school day, she actually wore a sweatshirt condoning the mother's business, which, I'm sorry, I'm not one for dress code, but do not have somebody post something like that against my child and then support them at the school. I don't need to tell you that I actually felt nauseous to see that, because that was the biggest kick in the face I have ever received, especially from a person at the school. That shouldn't have happened. I would also like to know what happened that my son was like oil and water and never allowed to be with Mr. C, because he's now working with Mr. P and Mr. Scott, which tells me that he's also still working with men. So clearly my son does not have a problem with men. And obviously I'm married to a man. So there's never been a problem with men for my son. For my son not to be able to work with somebody, that's very unusual for him. And I know my kid isn't easy. The other thing I would like to know is, have you guys assigned an actual teacher for Dawn yet? Is it like... That's fine. I would just like to know exactly who to go to for my daughter's needs. But I don't really think I should have to tell you guys what's appropriate to post on Facebook and what's wildly inappropriate, especially about a child with special needs. My son did not ask to be special needs, so you can't say my kid is disrespectful when he doesn't even know what he's doing. Thank you.
If you could get back to me too about the teacher from Ms. Dawn. And then I also have a question. I know you guys aren't allowed to answer. If we can get an email.
Excuse me, yeah, can you tell us who you are?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name's Kimberly Wilson. My son is in Belvidere Elementary in the special education class. Will there be more screening and training for the aides now with the incidents that happened? And will you guys be hiring more? Because I know with Mr. P being taken out of the one class, now they're down one person with 5 students who have their disabilities. So how is that going to affect them? Because just, I don't care that people know, but he was supposed to be going with John to PE, so now my son has no aid. So how is this going to affect the children that need the aids, and what training will they be getting now? Because, I mean, we send our kids to school to help, and
Thank you very much. Any other public participation? No? Okay. Correspondence.
I have one letter. Dear board members, it is becoming harder to raise money for Connors Scholarship Fund, so the family will no longer fund it. We will continue to offer the scholarship at the current level until the funds run out. It has been a pleasure to see so many fine students use the money to further their education. If you have any questions, please feel free to call. Very truly yours, George Babula.
Is that it? Okay. Superintendent's report, please.
Okay. A lot of what I was going to mention was mentioned between the committee meetings and Andy's report, but I'll still go through it. I just want to once again congratulate our Teachers of the Year. They'll be honored at a luncheon, excuse me, in the middle of April, countywide. It's always a nice honor, and I think, as you can see, we had some great representatives this year. So congratulations again to them. I have to say, sadly, I was not in town last night when the bowling championship parade rolled through because I was at a different meeting. But congratulations to the bowling team. I think a team that started just last year to win a state championship at a Group 1 level is just unexpected and tremendous. And appreciate Mr. Bartow for kind of getting a roll on it, and Mr. Carabinas for continuing the support for that team. And it's just a great thing for our school. We also have, which didn't get mentioned, we have 3 swimmers who made it all the way to the Meet of Champions, which is taking place, that's tomorrow for some reason I have it in my mind, tomorrow. I forgot to write down their names. I know Luke Tipton and Maddie Durr and I forget which.
Beanie?
It's Beanie, yes, thank you. I had it written, I was going to write it down. So good luck to them. That's also a great honor. Our cheer team was mentioned before, went to Florida, did excellent down there, and then they also, over the weekend, won the New Jersey Cheer and Dance Game Day Championship, too. So they had quite a season. So congratulations to them. We heard that the girls won today, and we wish Kyle Ballou a lot of success in his run through the now regions of the wrestling championship. So very successful sports season, still ongoing, and good luck to those that are still going. We did mention the musical next week for Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Friday night, and 2 shows on Saturday. I've seen a lot of the props being built by Mr. Lutz and his crew, so it looks really great, so it should be a great show. So please come on out for that. Next month at our March meeting, we will have the Belvidere Elementary, a little preview of the Finding Nemo play that they're putting on. So looking forward to that. Ms. Kripat always does a great job with them. I'll kick off, and if Tyler, if you want to jump in, we had a regionalization meeting last week. I actually just got the final report yesterday, which I will share with the board over the weekend as well. They trimmed it down. It's now 249 pages rather than 250. But there is an executive summary at the end to read. I won't highlight it too much. The consulting group is looking to put together a public meeting sometime early to mid-April where all the clusters can come together, and they'll do a presentation and take answers and questions. The only thing that was notable, different from our previous meetings, was the question that exists on state aid, and they believe that we would lose state aid by regionalizing right away, is going to be addressed through the legislation, but it won't be addressed until December. And I pointed out that we'll have likely a new governor we'll have a new governor for sure by December. So that could also change. But they'll go through all of that. It was about an hour and a half meeting. You want to just jump in on anything, Tyler, or was that?
No, I mean, I thought it was really informative, and I think that it will be great for everybody to hear, their findings, especially hear about, the updates with the schools and where they think we're best suited to go with that.
So it was good meeting. For those of you that follow along, the governor had his budget address yesterday, and so therefore tomorrow we will get our state aid number. That usually comes in late in the day, so we'll see where that goes. Just a reminder, I sent out in my last update just some changes of meeting dates. March 12th is our Unsung Hero presentation for Warren County School Boards. So we will actually cancel the committee meetings that night, so as many of us can go to that as possible. And I think I sent the link where you can sign up too. And then we have our regular board meeting on the 17th, and then I changed the April 30th meeting to May 7th. So we'll make sure I commit to all of that. And the last thing I did want to mention,
Our regular board meeting is March 17th?
19th, I'm sorry, 19th,
Okay.
19th. I get,
Harmony.
I'm sorry, I get,
Harmonies is on Saturday.
sometimes I get the Harmony and the Belvidere board meetings mixed up. The last thing to mention was mentioned in curriculum, but just to mention Renaissance again, and when I do my CSA goals update, I think we've had a good opportunity to really take a good look at the Renaissance data. And the thing that struck me in a very positive way was we're able to see where our students, what grade level that they're reading at. And we found probably more than half of our students are reading above grade level, including a couple of third graders that are reading on an eighth grade and a ninth grade level, and a couple of fifth graders that are reading at college level. So we see that as an opportunity to really work with our students and to push them forward and start to create some academic coaching for them, as well as some of our students that have needs. And kind of rather than taking away, we're just going to add into it. So we're really excited about that. It's been a good eye-opening experience going over to Renaissance, and I think it was a great move. And that is my probably longer than everybody want to hear my voice report tonight.
Okay, so that brings us on to agenda items. First, we're going to look at policy items 1 through 11. Can I have a motion for items 1 through 11, and is there any, hang on,
No add-ons.
no add-on?
No add-ons.
Wait, I lost my add-on paper, sorry.
Take mine. My notes though.
Yep, all right, so it's just 1 through 11, no add-ons.
Motion. Second.
I have a question. I don't know if we're voting.
Mhm.
On the food services?
Is
So-
your mic on? I can't hardly hear you.
Sorry, there. Food services is 9. What happens to the account balances once a child graduates?
We
If they
refund them by
have-
check. We refund them by check.
The school does? Because I have heard of some people who never received it, and then they didn't know if maybe it rolled over to a sibling or something.
You can request it to roll over to a sibling, but if you don't request it, we mail them back.
How do we get notified of the balances?
You're on your Genesis.
But then we have to pull the report, or does the student have to know? I'm just curious, like, how would
When you say, how do
know?
we know, meaning you as a parent or we as the school?
School.
Oh, I get reports.
So you would see if somebody has,
Yeah, for seniors, we usually wait till the end of the summer or sometime by the fall, and we send checks for, I think, anything over like $3 or $5. We send them out. We do have some outstanding,
okay.
which eventually we'll contact them again, and maybe a handful that are outstanding people maybe didn't miss, but that's how we reimburse everybody.
Okay, yeah, I was just curious. And then-
Because it's their money. I mean.
Yeah, right, no, I know, that's, I didn't know if, because that pay through schools, if they do it, or how it,
No.
how it all works.
We do it by actual manual check.
And then just a quick, on that also, because I know we kind of run into kids not getting lunches sometimes if their balance is low, and I know we've talked about the fact that they should still be getting lunches even if their parents haven't, updated their account balances, and I know that's happened again a little bit. With the changes in this policy, how is that?
That's happened recently?
Mm-hmm, yeah, yeah. How is that notified? Because I saw that's updated in the policy. How is that notified to the cafeteria staff to be sure? Can we put like a sign that says no child goes without a lunch, no matter what your balance?
Yeah, if you want to talk to me separately about that and let me know, because that should not be the case, and
I know,
And
but
we watch, the reason I get the monthly report is because people get very deep in the negatives, because we continue to feed regardless
Yeah.
of whether there's money in the account or not.
Yeah.
So that doesn't seem to jive.
Yeah, no, it definitely jived. It happened. So, and it wasn't even a negative balance. Just wasn't enough to cover the lunch. That's why I was just
It
curious.
might be snack, you can't buy extra stuff.
Nope, it was lunch.
Okay, well, can you talk to
Yeah,
me
we'll
about that?
talk to you
separate? Yeah.
offline. But my question is, how is the staff, do they get notified of the updates in that policy? Cafeteria.
We'll just go down and talk to them, make sure they
Okay.
know. We'll make sure they're noticed.
Okay,
We're asking
because I
specifically
saw
how
that
they
it was
come from.
updated in the policy, that
Yeah.
that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I think it's a good time to reiterate that should not happen.
Yes. Thank you.
Any other questions on any of the policies? And these are all second readings, just so everybody knows. Okay?
No.
No. No. Okay. Huh?
At the end.
Well, they can ask for during public comment prior to, yeah. Okay, so no more questions, then it's.
Mrs. Forte, if you have a question, you can always reach out to me and I can give you an answer. That's something just reach out to me and I'll help you with that.
Okay, so items 1 through 11, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions?
Yes. Aye.
I have that. Okay, moving on to personnel items, and it's personnel items 12 through 17 with the removal of 16, plus you have 17A and B on the add-on.
Motion?
Well, yeah, can I have a motion to look at those items?
Motion.
Second.
That was a lot.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah, that was a lot, yes. Any questions on any of those items that we didn't already? No? Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Serbone?
He went home.
I said Mrs.
Mr.
Serbone.
Oh.
He's not here.
Oh, he's not here. Oh.
Dr. Zuppeth?
Yes.
Mrs. Duckworth?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mrs. Steffen?
Yes.
Ms. Walton?
Yes.
Mrs. Wenner?
Yes.
Mrs. Gardella?
Yes.
And Mrs. Verbotham?
Yes.
The new one?
Okay, on
Wait,
to,
wait, the new
Oh!
one?
oh,
What?
yes,
And
Mrs. White.
Mrs. White?
Mrs.
Ms.
White.
Ms.
Ms.
White?
Ms. White, yes or no?
Or abstain?
Abstain.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, we forgot about it.
All right, so
Hidden to me.
we are going on to education items, and it's 18 through 24, and there is the trip additions for 24. Can I have a motion for items 18 through 24?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions on any of those items?
Oh, me.
No? All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Wait,
Sorry.
do we
I
have a
have-
question?
Yeah, I have to abstain from 8.
Okay.
Oh.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any noes? Any abstentions?
I abstain from 8.
Aye.
In there.
Okay, on to business items. It's items 25 through 30 with no additions. Can I have a motion for 25 through 30 business?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions?
Yes.
I have- okay. All right, so now we are on to continuing business. Is there any continuing business?
I'll do my
Third Street?
normal Third Street update.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We are slowly but surely making progress there. We just got another notification that paperwork that was submitted was accepted, and just still waiting the overall final approval, but as we go through the steps, everything is being approved. I cannot give you a time frame.
Any other continuing business?
I do. So a couple meetings ago, we had talked about updating the website, and we updated the front first page. I was on the website quite a bit over the last couple of days or weeks, and our website from front to back is really, really out of date. Can we just have someone really look at it and every single page from beginning to end and update?
Yes.
Thank you.
Without me having to go find out and look, did we fix those things from 2023 on the front page?
We did, but our
I don't want to say yes or no. 'Cause
the front page looks good.
I know we
Well,
talked
had the
about it,
news
I just don't
headlines,
know.
right, where you can scroll through?
Yes,
and
the
everything
front
was
page
really
looks
old?
great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That looks good.
We will do a deep dive.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
And then I also just wanted to follow up on when we would get an update on the goals, because there are some target dates that
I will, I'll actually do that for the March meeting. I'll do it at the March meeting, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we can assume then the targets for January and November have been met.
Never assume.
Well, I know, but.
I have to go back, I just can't off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd like to say yes, but I will update at the March meeting.
Okay.
Any other continuing business?
I don't know if this is continuing, but we had talked about, Mr. Carabinas had shared that there's some new electives for the high school students, and I know some of them are pretty excited about it. And I just didn't know if maybe we could touch upon, not necessarily right now, but maybe the next meeting, just kind of let everybody know what new electives have been added, because I think some of them are pretty cool, and just to kind of let everybody know that what's out there, because I know that there's some buzz around the school, the kids are excited.
In fact, we usually put that in our budget presentation, so we'll just kind of put it in the preliminary budget. So I
Okay,
think it's an
yeah.
excellent idea.
Yeah, I thought that would be good. And then also, I know I've touched a little bit about recognizing, I know we recognized the teachers with also student recognition. Is that, are we doing that, like kind of publicizing on the website, things like that, or Instagram, which I still can't get on because I'm getting hacked and I can't get on.
Yeah.
But things like that.
Yeah, I know the BH Red Zone does a great job with promoting everything. We'll try to get more. Maybe we need to link that to the website. I don't know if it's linked to the website. The BH Red Zone, I don't know if that's linked to the website. It's under the athletics. Maybe we'll get that on the front page too, because they do a great job of
Yeah,
promoting.
just
so-
not necessarily,
Yep.
not even have to be athletic students, but
Yeah.
just students.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but just recognize some of like the student achievements, like on monthly basis or something.
Yeah, maybe a link to all that with a tech tip.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Right on that.
Any other continuing business?
Just still very excited about these. I love walking in and seeing them. I'm like,
New business?
Yeah, I would just like a check-in on the study hall protocols, what's expected of the children on the high school level, what's expected of them, what are the rules, what they can and cannot do, those sort of things, just a check-in. Make
Report
sure
out. Yep.
students and the proctors
Okay,
are on the same.
report out on them in March is okay?
Perfect, thanks.
Any other new business?
Yeah, I have a question. It actually may have been continuing, but I thought maybe new would be better. The life skills room that we're talking about, do we have a plan of action, how we want to proceed going forward?
We do.
Could you share that with us?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in preliminary budget too.
What did you say? Life skills room?
Life skills room.
Life skills classroom, so a classroom.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yes, you can get an update on that and kind of what the plan is.
Yes, okay, good, thank you.
Any other new business? No? Okay, so we are going to open our second public participation. Is there anyone who wishes to be in second public participation? No? Okay. Great. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you very much. Everybody have a great night.